Minister of Works, David Umahi, is speaking out over the death of a nurse, Mary Haliba, inside his own house in Ebonyi State. The minister described her as a good nurse, while also calling on his lawyers to take action against individuals spreading what he calls false and defamatory reports about how she died. Speaking while inspecting work on the Calabar-Abuja Superhighway, Umahi dismissed claims that there was any secrecy around the nurse's death, saying her family broke down the door after they couldn't reach her and immediately called doctors from the Dave Umahi Federal University Teaching Hospital, where the nurse worked, who tried to revive her but failed. Meanwhile, Habila's father on Monday signed an affidavit at the High Court Registry in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, that the entire family rejects any autopsy on his daughter's body. In the sworn document, Haliba's father stated explicitly that she served as a personal nurse to Minister Umahi, residing at his guest house in Abuja and Ebonyi State in the staff quarters. He then went on to state that while Umahi ordered an autopsy, his family appealed against any medical investigation to leave her body and organs intact. I mean, you've seen the story trending, Ayo, and we've seen the affidavit that even the father of the deceased is saying their daughter died in her room, and that, all these stories that have been going around, whether or not there should be more investigations or not. I mean, I don't know your thoughts on this story.
So beyond the person of interest who is involved in this case, who is the Federal Minister of the Federal Republic, is that there's a human being that has lost her life in very interesting circumstances. And then there are questions being raised. And for that purpose, I believe that where someone dies in questionable circumstances or just to ascertain the nature of death, a coroner's inquest is called for. And this is what Omoyele Sowore has now called for in the public interest. We've seen what's happened in the United Kingdom, not exactly the same kind of case, but at least similar. We see how Anne Wincombe was killed, and initially was said that, okay, they'll just treat it as a normal, something that she died in her home. But on further investigation was found out that the man was responsible. Then they said, oh, it may not be terrorists in nature. Then they found out on further investigation that it was actually terrorists. It was motivated based on terrorism-related cases. So in this regard, because there's so many he said, she said, yes, I know her family has released a statement, but I believe that there's been a death of a young person. She's under 30. A death of a woman at work. There ought to be a coroner's inquest at the very minimum. And also to be able to, for the person of interest involved, absolve, at least clear his name legally. Since he said that, okay, everything was overboard, to answer the unanswered questions. Let us have a full investigation. Let us have a coroner's inquest. We need to begin to do that in Nigeria. I know that culturally, cultural sentiments would usually mean that people would not like the idea of an autopsy because of how invasive it is. But in the interest of crime and criminality, we don't have such records. We need to begin to do that. And I do believe that there's a place where the state can override the wishes of the family to actually carry out an autopsy to determine the cause of death because of the circumstances of death. We don't need any more controversies around this. Let there be a full investigation instituted, and in the interest of the public, and even in the interest of the Nigerian state, let us have a coroner's inquest on to ascertain what truly transpired. It happened at work, and it's, again, whether it be anybody, this is what I would also recommend, irrespective of who it is in question.
Young girl gone too soon, really. May her soul rest in peace. But Habila's father also made it clear that he does not wish to proceed with the investigation any further, or any investigation, requesting that his daughter's body be released for burial.